Level 2, at least from companies like AR500, they've got what's called a Rheimlig aramid material. You can expect it to be somewhere around 0.45 inches thick and 1.24 pounds per plate, roughly $75. The next category up would be the level 2 alpha, still made out of the same material. Goes up to 0.55 inches thick and up to 1.43 pounds per plate. The next step up from there would be their level 3 alpha hybrid plate. The size goes back down to 1/4 of an inch thick and only 1.04 pounds, but the price comes up considerably from $75 up to $170. As you can see from the chart, going up to level 3 alpha is where you graduate from soft armor to both soft and steel armor. Moving up from level 2 to level 3 alpha, you are getting more protection. And if you transition from soft to steel armor, the prices come back down. So, whereas the level 3 hybrid plate is still a soft plate at 1.04 pounds and only 1/4 inch thick, it's $170. The level 3 alpha steel plate is 1/5 of an inch thick, so 0.20 inches. It's less than 5 pounds. It's only $79. When moving up from a soft plate like this to a hard plate like that, you are getting a much better protection from stab, slash, and blunt force trauma, because when a soft plate is designed to catch a bullet, so a bullet come through, and obviously you get a decent amount of back face deformation, which is potentially going right into your inner organs. This is designed to just minimal back face deformation, completely defeat the bullet as opposed to catching the bullet. Also, stab slash damage from something like that is definitely not going to go through a hard plate, whereas it could fairly easily get through a soft plate, especially if it's not very thick. So then going on to level 3 plate like this, it does start to get considerably heavier. The base coat like this is 0.26 inches thick. If you were to do the build-up coat, it's 0.48 inches thick, so almost a full 1/2 inch thick. You go from 8.7 pounds on a plate like this with the base coat to 9.7 pounds, a whole pound heavier for the build-up coat. They're designed to deal with, like it says here, 2,780 feet per second from a 7.62 by 51 NATO ball round. You can expect to spend around $115. Moving up from the level 3 plate, going to 3 plus. You can see from the chart once again that you get a little bit further protection from larger or faster rounds. Some level 3 plus plates use AR650 steel as opposed to the AR500 steel. Some just use a different technology, different combination of denser core. Like for example, AR500's brand of level 3 plus plates are AR650, except their lightweight plates are back down at AR500. The ballistic protection you can see from going from a level 3 to level 3 lightweight, they are all still technically level 3 plus rating, but technically the level 3 plus lightweight will do between 100 and 150 feet per second less than the full weight level 3 plus plate. So starting at the base level 3 plus plate, it's roughly 1/4 inch thick. Technically it's a little closer to 0.21 inches thick. You're looking at 8.5 pounds for the base coat, 9.6 pounds for the build-up coat. Going from there to the advanced shooter's cut, you drop all the way down to 6.5 pounds for the base coat and 7.7 pounds for the build-up. So in addition to the level 3 plus being slightly thinner than the actual level 3 plate is, also you're potentially cutting out some of the steel coverage. So I can show you, whereas this plate is much more closely lined up with the trauma pad that goes underneath it. They cover really the exact same real estate. This advanced shooter's cut, and especially the advanced lightweight shooter's cut, covers a lot less. So you can tell the shape's completely different. You're missing out on a decent amount of shoulder protection and lower abdomen protection. It is lighter. This one specifically is also curved, so potentially a good use for a front plate. Forms to your body a little bit easier, and it's a little bit less bulky, less likely to catch on whatever components you have on the front of your plate carrier or your rifle stock. It is technically still the same size because it's still 10 by 12, but it's got the build-up coat, so it's even thicker than the level 3. You can see from the threat rating that you go up to 7.60 by 51 ball at 2850 feet per second, and then that 5.56 by 45 M855 at 3000 feet per second. So part of the reason that you're getting some weight savings on some of these level 3 plus plates is just because there's less steel there, specifically these corners. So just to recap, the level 3 plus base weight is 8.5. The level 3 plus advanced shooter's cut is 6.5 pounds, and the advanced lightweight shooter's cut like this is 5.8 pounds, only jumping up to 6.5 with the build-up coating. So with the build-up coating, still a full 2 pounds lighter than that level 3 plate underneath it. Prices for the base level 3 plus is $150. The advanced shooter's cut is $164. And the advanced lightweight shooter's cut for single plate is $159. Going back to talk about what kind of protection you can expect from level 2 soft armor. So everything on here, including 22 long rifle on the left, 9mm the next couple over, and then 40 the next couple over from there. You also do have protection from 45 ACP and 357 Magnum. The jacketed hollow point stuff has a lot harder time defeating armor, because if the goal of the hollow point in the first place is to transition that kinetic energy from passing through to stopping power, where it hits the target and deforms. That's exactly what body armor is trying to do in the first place, is keeping the bullet from passing through the target. So a jacketed hollow point is just going to have a so much harder time, whether it's going through soft armor or hard armor, of defeating the armor in the first place. The full metal jacket stuff will have a little easier time of getting through, but the more surface area that the bullet has, even if it does have more kinetic energy, it does have a harder time defeating even soft armor. If you're shooting 22 LR out of a rifle, some soft armors do have a hard time defeating that, because there's just such little surface area and that bullet's moving so fast that no matter how much Kevlar, it just can't stop it. But moving up to level 3A, you get all of the protection from everything on here, plus 357 SIG and 44 mag, whether that's soft armor or hard armor. The level 3 plate is designed to stop everything here. So all of the previously covered pistol calibers, plus the small fast-moving 5.56 223, whether that's a jacketed hollow point or a full metal jacket, the bigger 7.62 by 39 standard AK round, or the bigger, faster moving 7.62 by 51. The level 3 ratings are fairly nuanced, so there are some small differences between the level 3 plus and level 3 plus lightweight, so we definitely need to look into some of those small differences, but we'll cover them real quickly. Everything on here technically is covered and considered protected from on level 3 plus. So all of the previously covered pistol calibers, plus the small fast moving 223 5.56, especially if it's a hollow point like that. The standard AK round, 7.62 by 39, and the 7.62 by 51. If it can handle this fairly slow moving 30 caliber and the slower moving versions of the 30 caliber 760 by 51, then it can definitely handle the 300 blackout stuff, which is 30 caliber. It's not as fast moving because there's just not as much powder in that 223-556 casing. I'd say regardless of what type of 300 blackout you're trying to defeat, whether it's fast, supersonic, lightweight stuff, roughly 120 grain at 2115 feet per second, or the 220 grain 1015 feet per second, there's obviously almost a double of weight difference between 120 and 220, and more than double of speed increase from 1015 feet per second to 2115 feet per second. So once again, especially if it's a hollow point, the body armor should have no problem defeating those rounds. Moving up from level 3 to level 3 plus plates is where you start getting additional protection from everything listed there, plus it affords you protection from the 223 Winchester and the 308. So all of your typical hunting rounds, plus the green tipped 556 M855 penetrator, the armor piercing 556 rounds will be defeated by the level 3 plus plate. As far as the differences between the level 3 plus and the level 3 plus lightweight plates, whereas the level 3 plus has been tested to defeat a 556 by 45 M193 round at 3100 feet per second, the level 3 plus lightweight has done the same thing but only at 3000 feet per second. For the 556 by 45 M855, the SS109 penetrator that we just talked about, can do that at 3100 feet per second, whereas the level 3 plus lightweight can only do 3000 feet per second as well. For the 762 by 51, it can handle that non-armor piercing at 3000 feet per second, and the lightweight will only do 2850 feet per second. And then the additional protection that you're getting from the level 4 plate is protection from everything we've talked about so far, plus 30-06 armor piercing. So working away from the larger calibers all the way back down, talking about the bigger hunting rounds, longer range hunting rounds, to anti-personnel rounds, to the smaller pistol calibers, level 4 will offer you protection from anything you can easily expect to run into. Go any larger than 30-06, you're going to have a really hard time ever defeating a round with that unless you've got a ton of distance between you and the round after it's been fired, so that you can cut that velocity back down. As far as I know, there's nothing you can ever expect to be able to defeat a 50 caliber round like that. But if you're running to somebody with 50 caliber rounds, then I don't know what to tell you. Alright, so we'll conclude the video with just a quick run through of some of the pros and cons of steel versus soft versus polyethylene versus ceramic. Starting with soft, it's thin, it's flexible, it's lightweight, it's concealable. But the cons are it only stops pistol and shotgun rounds. It's only got a 5-year shelf life on average, and it's a little more expensive when you're getting into the lightweight and exotic materials. For steel, you do have edge-to-edge protection. It stops M855 green tip and similar. It's affordable. It's got a 20-year shelf life, minimal backface deformation, potentially opportunities for build-up coating like the anti-spall fragmentation coatings. It's fairly thin for the amount of protection that it provides, multi-hit capable. The cons are that it's heavy. The bare steel is prone to bullet fragmentation, which is why I definitely recommend spending a little extra to get the build-up coating. And then it's ineffective against specifically designed armor-piercing ammo, unless you start getting into the thicker level 3 plus. When it talks about edge-to-edge protection, that's because regardless of where on the plate a round were to hit, it's going to perform the same as if it hit near the edge, as if it hit in the center, which is not the case for polyethylene or ceramic plates, because if the goal and the way that the ceramic and polyethylene plates work is they turn that kinetic energy into fracturing or cracking the plate, if you're hitting it towards the edge, it has that much less surface area to transition all that kinetic energy into. If you're near the edge, you've only got everything left or right or below or above the edge of the plate that's being hit. So you are potentially giving up what's considered a threat capability of the level 4 or the polyethylene plates. If you hit it near the edge, you're potentially risking protection from that round. For polyethylene, some of the pros are that it's lightweight, it is buoyant, it stops M193 and similar high velocity ammunition, it's multi-hit capable. The cons are that it's definitely expensive, it's pretty thick, so you're definitely going to need to find a plate carrier that can handle it. It's only got a 5-year shelf life, and that's in ideal conditions. It can lose performance if exposed to high heat for too long. It's ineffective against green tip, armor piercing, or similar ammo, and definitely does not have edge-to-edge protection. The testing protocol allows for up to 2 inches of edge failure. And then ceramic plates, the pros are that it's effective against the most powerful rounds. It's fairly thin. It's less expensive than polyethylene. Can be multi-hit capable if you're moving rounds to different areas where you've still got no damage done. Like if this plate's fractured near the top from that bullet having been hit here, if there's a bullet hitting here where there's none of that spidering of the fracture lines getting anywhere near the previous damage, then you can argue that it still has the same overall protection level. However, if you're just getting hit in the same or very similar spot repeatedly, then the cracks are going to further and further reduce the durability and the capability of stopping and defeating these rounds. It is lighter than steel, however it's more expensive than steel. It's prone to cracks or breaks if not stored correctly, or if it's dropped, thus reducing protection. Probably should be inspected or even x-rayed to ensure that it's providing you the protection that you paid for. It's also only got a 5-year shelf life. Once again, no edge-to-edge protection. The testing protocol once again allows for up to 2 inches of edge failure. And then the level 4 test protocol only requires it to stop 1 round as opposed to 6 rounds with a lot of the other testing criteria. And then the last con is that it's slightly heavier than polyethylene, but it is definitely thinner than polyethylene. So with that, that's pretty much everything you can think about to cover in terms of things to consider when trying to decide between what body armor to purchase. In a future video, we might talk about some things to consider, different technologies available to if you are in the market for a helmet, ballistic protection for your head. Talk about sources of where you can buy this kind of stuff, whether it's military surplus stores, some different retailers that sell brand new stuff, because those can definitely get expensive.